vehicles that he has off-street parking. Also, he has a motorhome, and he was just beside himself because the way they're parking over there, he just can't get the vehicle out to get an inspection sticker where he was going to go to the local station. So he called me up, and or they called me up, and I said, "Oh, let me see what I can do, and bring it to the council floor and see if we can address the problem."
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Any debates? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. And the second motion by Councilor Kazanjian, City Council requests the city manager have the proper departments address the excessive trash at 232 Lincoln Street, seconded by Councilor Lindsay.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this is, I've received a phone call during the week at 232 Lincoln Street, the excessive trash, and I actually had some pictures in the packets. It was just garbage bags outside, and animals were getting the bags, and food and trash was just all over the place. It's just, see if we can get something we can do. I know the health department's been there a number of times, but do we have anything as far as implementing the ordinance as far as the ticketing, or is that in place yet?
We have that in place, and we're in the process of hiring 2 solid waste inspectors to enforce the new ordinance.
Also,
but we are, enforcement is very important to us in this ordinance. So we will get the health department out there.
Also, I received a phone call after the fact that Floyd, Mead, and Whipple Street, there's continuous problems over there as far as trash. Floyd Street, Mead Street, Whipple Street, they're leaving the barrels out on the sidewalk. They never bring them in.
I think we have spoken to spoken to people in that same area.
Right. So if maybe we can address that problem over there. And I went by it, and I went by both locations. It's definitely being done. They're not bringing the barrels in. So.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Motion by Councilor Martin. City Council requests the city manager have the traffic engineer explore the possibility of placing a 4-way stop sign at the intersection of Suffolk Street. I don't have the other street.
Hall
Street.
This
Okay,
is the-
seconded by Councilor Harvey Mercier.
Yeah, this is the bridge that leads from the arena onto Suffolk Street. So other than that, it speaks for itself. The people that called did also inquire about paving Suffolk Street, but I said first things first, so if we could start with this.
Okay. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Motion by Councilor Milanazzo requests that the City Council support an application to Department of Housing and Community Development for HUD Neighborhood Stabilization Funds for the redevelopment of foreclosed property, seconded by Councilor Rita Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the last couple of years, we've been working with a foreclosure prevention task force and waiting for monies to become available through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And as most of us know, this past summer we had the Housing and Economic Recovery Act passed and signed by President Bush, and there's monies available and monies to the Commonwealth. There's about $70 million that came to the Commonwealth, and some cities like Lawrence and Fall River and Brockton and Boston were actually entitlement cities, so they're actually getting money. They know what dollars amounts they're going to be getting to help with neighborhood stabilization, especially as it relates to foreclosed properties. Lowell is not an entitlement city, therefore we have to apply to DHCD, and DHCD has about $45 million available to assist cities like Lowell in dealing with their foreclosed properties. And this task force has been in place now for a couple of years, and we're working with nonprofit groups as well as for-profit businesses who are just waiting for monies to become available to purchase some of these foreclosed properties, to stabilize these properties and the like. And I know that the Planning and Development Office will be submitting an application to DHCD, and I just think it's important for this council to go on record in support of an application like this in order to get some monies, needed funds into the city to help with neighborhood stabilization.
Okay, thank you. Manager Lynch.
Councilor, I applaud the efforts of the task force, and we've certainly been working closely through DPD with the task force. And I did have a meeting with Adam Bakey today where we discussed this application, and the support of the council would be very helpful to us as we move forward with that.
Right, thank you.
Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Motion by Councilor Armin Mercia. City Council requests the city manager update the city council on the status of the University Avenue Bridge repairs, seconded by Councilor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Although it's self-explanatory, I really want to stay on top of this in terms of, is it the engineer's office that oversees this work?
Right.
Are they on time? Are they within budget? Are we still looking at a time where we can open that bridge? And I would like to get an update on the progress and be made aware if there are any problems and what can we do about them.
Mr. Manager?
Counselor, we'll get you a formal report. I know that T.J. McCarthy and Lisa DeMayo have been working on a report that will be ready on the 28th. We were shooting for that. I will tell you that the state, this coincided with the state's annual inspection, the work that we were doing out there. It gave them a chance to get out and see it, go underneath. I myself had an opportunity. I didn't actually go underneath the bridge, but I was able to walk across the bridge and look at a number of the steel pieces that are going to be replaced. The state has come out and identified several others that they want done. That has had an impact. Budgetarily, we're comfortable with where we are at this point in time. We're still analyzing the time impact, but I will tell you that the indication that I've received is that it will be minimal. We're still shooting for December to have this. We may push it back a week or so, but we're still pushing for December to have this bridge reopened.
Okay.
But we'll get you a formal report on that.
Thank you.
Councilor Elliott?
I think it's a good motion. I guess to coincide with that, I know there's the Bay State Marathon. I noticed signs or placards being posted over this weekend. In the past, people trying to cross the river would be rerouted to University Ave because the O'Donnell and the Rourke Bridge were closed. I noticed only in the paper tonight, because I called Mr. Backey on it to ask him, is this still the plan? Because now folks trying to cross the bridge from Pawtucket will have to go all the way down to the Willette Bridge. Is that still going to be the case, and how, what office does that go through, just for the future? I mean,
Right.
and I know it's only till the morning, but it's,
Right.
but people in Pawtucket are kind of, landlocked, if you will, so.
Right. That's they've worked with the police department through that. There has been a lot of participation with the Pawtucketville Citizens Council. Councilor Milanazzo and I were out there last week, where the police department made a full presentation with the sponsors of or the organizers of the road race. There seemed to be general support from the Citizens Council as to the manner in which it was organized to minimize the impact. But obviously, given the bridge closure, it will be more of an impact this year.
But it will be open, the Rourke Bridge will be open at 11:30?
I
That's
believe
what was
that's
indicated in the paper.
Councilman, yes.
Because in the past, that would go till 2 or 3 o'clock. Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Motion by Councilor Rita Mercia. City Council requests the city manager have the proper department post no parking signs on the left side of North Street, seconded by Councilor Milanazzo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know you want to hear that the motion speaks for itself, but I'm not going to go there, because I would think that a one-way street, and this is a one-way street going from Lawrence Street out to Central Street, that there's parking only on the right, so there's not any parking on the left. But there are people that go to the club around the corner on Central Street, and they park along the other side of the street, so much so that the neighbors are afraid that an emergency vehicle cannot make it through, and I'm sure they can't, because these streets are very narrow. So I thought it was a given that if they call the police to ticket those cars on the other side, that would happen. But it doesn't happen because the police will not respond if there's no signs telling them what to do. So it isn't a given. So in order for this to work with the police, I need to have some signs posted there. Therefore, the police have the tool they need to ticket these cars so they don't park there. That's the gist of the motion.
Okay.
Thank you. And please remember the time, so that in December,
Yes. We'll be out of here before 11.
I know that, but I voted for every single week. I know that.
All
but-
in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The last motion of the evening. By Mayor Caulfield, City Council requests the city auditor to report on the free cash and on any surplus cash. Also requests the auditor to explain the Standard & Poor's report indicating $10.7 million in surplus monies seconded by Councilor Armin Mercia. I'll be very brief. The auditor did furnish me with a report this evening, and the reason I asked this, many other people were asking the same question. It states, fiscal 2007 was the first year in which the city was able to add to the general fund balance, which totaled $10.3 million. The unreserved, undesignated general fund balance totaled $1.9 million, which in our opinion represents a weak 0.6 expenditure. Madam Auditor, could you explain to the council this initiative?
Basically, yes, we had a $10.3 million beginning fund balance. What I've given you is all the backup materials that prove out from that point, we actually reduced that all the way down to negative free cash of $1 million. The $10 million right off the top has been inflated by the $4.2 million that we have sitting in that Chapter 17 account. That's those funds that we can use, but we have to raise them right away. So that comes off the table right away. The next thing that comes off the table is $4.1 million. Those are those encumbrances, those expenses that we've actually expended in 1 year, but we haven't paid for them yet. So that has to come off the table. So that reduces it back down to the $1.9 million. That's the undesignated fund balance, and that's the point where they start the free cash calculation. And we've gone through all those reports, and I actually provided all those reports that show how it goes from the 1.9 to the negative $1 million.
And Madam Auditor, you still haven't, the Department of Revenue has still not declared if we have any free cash or not. You don't have that answer.
For 2008, no. We have currently have the auditors in here now. And once the audit is complete, then I'll start preparing the necessary paperwork to submit to the Department of Revenue.
Okay.
Free cash certification.
Thank you. Does that answer any questions you might have about any surplus money? Okay. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. There is one motion by Council Rita Mercia, and I want to state, Council Rita Mercia stuck through this evening. She's extremely not feeling that well, and I appreciate you sticking through the entire evening. Motion by Council Rita Mercia, request the City Council revisit previous motion filed on September 9th, requesting a street light on pole number 11541 on Circle Road off Stafford Road. Motion seconded by Council Milonato.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under unanswered, unresponsive motions, I had to ask the manager to revisit this motion, requesting a light on Circle Road near Stafford Roadside on pole number 1154/1. It seems National Grid did a reverse and put a light on Stafford Road near the Circle Roadside on pole 1154/497. The neighbors are thrilled, and they want this light to stay while honoring the motion that I made as well, but National Grid needs a letter indicating that the light was on the wrong pole shall stay, and they now need permission to install the light that the neighbors requested in the first place to be installed. And I left a fax number to Andy Sheehan with the person contact name and the fax number and the address and all this stuff. So thank you, I appreciate it. So the mistake was good, well received, but they want to keep that. And in order to do that, we need to submit a letter to indicate that.
Mr. Manager?
Councilor will get right on that to make sure that that happens.
Thank
And let's
you.
hope that they don't start accidentally putting lights on every pole in the
I
city,
know.
because we'll quickly be
I know that. Thank you
money.
very much.
Council Lindsay.
Mr. Mayor, I have an update. The Red Sox are winning 2-0. That's Game 5.
That's
Game 5.
Just very briefly, this evening at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, I and Manager Lynch and Councilor Martin and Councilor Milonazo, I don't know if there's other councils down there, but we welcomed Eastern Bank into our city, and a wonderful, wonderful banking institution. Rick Holbrook is the CEO, and they're very community-orientated, and they call it themselves True Blue. Loyalty, integrity, and community service. Last year, they contributed $9 million to various charitable organizations throughout the region. So we welcome Eastern Bank into our city, and we let them know that anytime we can help them, give us a call. And also this weekend, I don't have the exact date, Friday, Saturday, the Rick Barry and the Gentleman's Songsters will be performing the barbershop chorus songs and so forth. They bring an awful lot of money into the city, and we want to wish Rick Barry the best. So any other?
Yes, I have one more thing, Mr. Mayor, and it was overlooked, and I just happened to think of it. I want to compliment you for the beautiful Mayor's Harvest Ball to raise all that money for the food banks to be distributed to the food pantries.
thank
That
you.
was remarkable. Do we have a total of almost $50,000?
Well, there was $50,000 raised,
Yeah.
but after expenses,
But that's
probably
wonderful.
$37,000
That's
was
great.
was brought forward to
So
the
I think
Merrimack
you
County.
deserve a round of
Oh, thank you.
applause.
It was the committee who did all the hard work, and you were on the decorating committee, so thank you. And Mike Lindsay, I want to thank Mike Lindsay for going above and beyond. It was a wonderful evening, a nice tribute to Andy St. Onge, and everyone who attended, who contributed. You can rest assured that people will be serviced this winter. There won't be a lack of food. So with that said, entertain a motion by Council Broderick, seconded by Council Elliott. Thank you for a great meeting.